everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Joey the Veiled Cottage Witch, and this is another episode of One Card in 4 Decks. If you're new to my channel, I am a tarot enthusiast, an herbalist, a metaphysical practitioner, and a folk witch, among other things. I am doing this series because I want to show everyone, first off, it's a chance for me to show off my collection, not gonna lie. And second off, it is all about showing a lot of my students and viewers what other decks kind of look like compared to the Rider-Waite. I know a lot of people struggle to learn the tarot, especially if the Rider-Waite tarot is not their jam. I know a lot of people out there that are like, I don't resonate with the Rider-Waite system, but I want to learn tarot. And I struggle with that because tarot's language is either through the Thoth deck, which I'm going to learn, or through the Rider-Waite system. So you buy any tarot book that teaches you tarot, they're going to be using the Rider-Waite system or the Thoth system 99% of the time. So it's really hard to learn the tarot without learning those systems. It's almost impossible. So this series is all about like looking at those other decks through the lens of the Rider-Waite to show you kind of the thread that calls back to the Rider-Waite. So you can interpret those. I can help you interpret them by showing you that thread, if that makes sense. So if you're still with me, let's go ahead and introduce the crystal for this card. So we're dealing with the Four of Swords today. So today's crystal is the Celestite. Celestite is so calming and soothing and healing. It is the crystal I choose anytime I'm working on any kind of emotional balancing. If I want those emotions to get unstuck and to flow through me, I will choose Celestite to hold on when I'm doing those kind of meditations or those kind of workings. So I especially love raw Celestite because I like I'm a tactile person, so I'm going to want to kind of roll my thumb over it, and it helps me just kind of roll through those emotions. So Celestite, beautiful stone, beautiful stone. All right, so let's move on to the Four of Swords. Now, I do not have my Radiant Rider-Waite, which I usually have out. I don't have it out today because it is missing an important part of the symbolism that I needed to grab my classic, basic, yellow box Rider-Waite for. So I want to just go ahead and call that out right now. So this scene has some Easter eggs in it, so I wanted to call to that. 4 is all about stability, right? We've learned that strength, stability, just nice, balanced, strong, stable, 4 legs to a table, 4 legs to a chair, stability, right? This picture, you just can't help but feel at ease and peaceful. And there's a reason for that. There's a subliminal message here. So in this beautiful stained glass is, if you look real close, there's letters P-A-X, and that is Latin for peace. Isn't that cool? I just found that Easter egg out like a year ago, so I am thrilled with it. So when I got my Rider-Waite out and I was looking at it and I was like, where's it at? I knew I had to grab my OG out for that. So there's peace baked into this card. I like to call this card the Day Spa card. This is a reprieve after battle. You know, a lot of people are like, is this person dead? No, he is in meditation and prayer and contemplation. His swords are on the wall. He doesn't need them right now. One's below him just in case. So he's like prepared for battle next time, but there's no war right now. He can rest easy. You know, he's at peace. You know, the fighting is over. You know, he's completely rested. And I have some theories about why he's gold. I feel like he is at such a meditative state that he's becoming part of his environment. Like he's becoming so spiritually one with the church because like he's stained glass. It feels like he's in a church. He's in sanctuary. So he has become so one with the church and his spirituality that he's going to be there a while. He's taking his reprieve. So that's what we're looking at in the Four of Swords. So let's see what we find in the Druid Craft deck. Okay. So this druid is not asleep at all. All right. We've got a beautiful background here. This beautiful tree looks like an oak, probably. His three swords are up against it, a stone here. I love this throne that's kind of built into the tree in the side of the stone wall here. He's got one, instead of below him, it's rested across his lap. So he is not quite at the day spa. He still might be in contemplation. You know, he's not in full meditation. He's not at full ease. But times are tough for these druids, okay? He's doing the best he can to be at ease, you know. He's kicked back, you know. But he's still resting. Okay, I'll give him that. He's doing the best he can to be at ease. He's grounding with the tree and the stone. So, you know, he's finding peace within. He's just not fully, you know, asleep like this guy, you know. But maybe he's becoming one with the tree. You know, he's doing the best he can, right? The symbolism still works, right? All right. Let's move on to the Tarot of the Dragons. So very similar in symbolism to the OG, right? He's all curled up and sleeping. I love that he's golden. That's perfect. That works with the symbolism of the Rider-Waite. 3 above him, and he's in his little cave. And he is sleeping on his sword. So if he needs to get up and go to battle, he is ready. So I love that. I love that he's in his cave instead of a church, you know. He's protecting his sword. He can, you know, go off at a moment's notice, just like this druid here in the Druid Craft deck. So he's ready to take off at a moment's notice, but he's still resting. He's still recuperating. He's still finding that peace. So I love the dragons. Gotta love the dragons. And then lastly, we have MJ Cuillinane's Guardian of the Night Tarot. And I thought this was adorable. The swords are so harsh. We need some cuteness. So we get little hedgehog here. Isn't he adorable? Look at his face. All right. So he's got all this wood, burying him. He is just in his little hole. His swords are part of his little hidey hole. He's still got another sword down here. He looks like he's scared, though. He's hiding. He's not quite at peace. So I feel like there's a little fear in his eyes. He's a little shaken up. He's burying himself a little bit, which kind of changes a little bit. It's kind of along the lines of this Four of Swords. He feels threatened, I feel like. Kind of like this guy. But he's a little bit more vulnerable, I feel, than the Druid. Even though he's got all this wood and snow and he's hibernating, he still feels very vulnerable. Not quite at peace that we see here in the OG. So, he might get there in a little while, but right now he's still very much like paying attention to every little sound, every little movement. So I hope this guy gets some peace. I hope he gets some peace really, really soon. I know he will. It's still fall, I feel like, even though there's snow on the ground. Maybe once it gets to be a little bit more toward winter, he'll find his peace. So that's the Four of Swords in the Rider-Waite Smith deck, the Druid Craft deck, the Tarot of the Dragons, and the Guardian of the Night Tarot. So tell me what you guys think about your interpretation of the Four of Swords. What does it mean to you? And how do you interpret it in your decks? Please let me know in the comment section below. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Please share it with anyone you think that might also like it. Check out my website, theveiledcottagewitch.com. Check out you can book a reading, you can book a service or a class. You can also shop my herbal products. Just make sure when you go to checkout, you enter the code all caps veiled. Get your free shipping with that code word. And all that information is going to be in the description box below. And lastly, live your best life and live for yourself. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.